Hello and welcome back to HGC Europe. We just finished up watching Fnatic win with a solid 3-0 over Synergy, and we're starting to gear up for our next match. My name is Trixler. To the left, it's Galdor.
Yeah, and our last series was one of the series that did not matter for the standings. The teams put up a great show though. It was very entertaining seeing Cho'Gall, Genji and Murky. Also Rex are making an appearance here. But now, there's a lot on the line. beGenius going up against Team Liquid. And Team Liquid needs to win this without dropping a single map.
Yeah, this is actually a very important series for Team Liquid for the stuff that you mentioned earlier, obviously. They want to try and get that second spot over Dignitas if things do work out for them. But also, just to get back on the road here, they've lost the last 3 games they've gone against, which, of course, is kind of interesting. Let's go and look at the standings while we go ahead and talk about their last 3 games. They faced off against Fnatic, Dignitas, and Expert. It has been a difficult road for them, and they've had 3 losses in a row, so they really want to get back on the page.
That also came at a time when Team Liquid had a 10-0 record in the standings. So out of nowhere, they started to lose games against the big 3. It's something that you might have expected, but then going up against Expert, that was supposed to be a match that was maybe a bit tough, but should have been still ended on the side of Team Liquid. It didn't. Now all of a sudden they have to worry about their number 2 spot in the standings. Actually at this point already they are on the number 3 spot, but they still have a chance to make it to number 2.
And go ahead and lay it down for us. Team Liquid today has to win with a 3-0.
Yes.
And then following Dignitas?
Following Dignitas tomorrow has to lose at least 1 map against Tricked Esports. And then Team Liquid would take the 2nd spot. All that Dignitas has to do is hope today for beGenius to take at least 1 map against Team Liquid, or tomorrow defeat Tricked Esports without dropping a single map. If one of these 2 things happen, all of a sudden Dignitas takes the 2nd spot, which gives them a better chance in the playoffs since they only have to play 1 single match. We're currently looking at a step ladder system. So with that in mind, of course, the higher you place in the standings, the more of a chance you have to only play 1 series or 2 series, depending on how up you go.
Well, let's go ahead and look at what you guys have to witness today here on Friday here in Week 10 of the HGC. We just finished up with Synergy and Fnatic. As I mentioned earlier, they won with a 3-2-0. Team Liquid and beGenius will be next. Team Freedom and Gale Force Esports later on today. Remember the last time those 2 faced off, Team Freedom nailed the upset. Can they do it again?
I was actually thinking you were about to say the last time that these 2 faced off against each other, Crowan and Michael Udall has still had hair.
One day this will die. But until then, we'll continue to hammer on it. Cue Ball, Udall will be playing tonight against Team Freedom. And of course, later on, we'll have another match as well. And
he joined Team Karazim.
He joined Team Karazim. We're in. We're all support mains now. Let's go ahead and talk about the match coming up here. Team Liquid and beGenius. In fact, our players have a few things to say to you.
A bit indeed, actually, to be honest. We are in a bit of a slump right now since quite a few weeks. We lost to Dignitas, Fnatic and Expert lastly. We still try to qualify for the mid-season brawl and we practice it as much as possible, but I cannot promise that we make it. I actually lost quite a bit confidence, but if we keep practicing hard and if we get out of the slump within the next 7 days, I am sure that we can still qualify and we will beat beGenius 3-0.
I think the role swap help a lot, but it's not just about the role swap, more about communication. Because we were so excited to be in HGC and everyone wanted to speak, to do his things, and we was like playing like a solo queue and not as a team. Now we play again as a team and so it worked again. We are prepared to fight.
beGenius looking to gain more victories. As mentioned, the last couple matches they've been in have been pretty exciting. They've really shown up to the gameplay and have risen to the challenge as we want to see more from them. They need to be an HGC team here to even stay in this league. And they're really looking like they have a chance, especially going to the Crucible, to walk away and come back for Phase 2.
Yeah, for them it's one of those situations where they know they themselves have no influence on the standings anymore. They are confirmed for the Crucible, but they can still make a great showing.
Yeah.
And after if you lost so many games and now come from 2 victories, you of course want to show that you not only can make this happen against Tricked against playing Ducks, but you have a shot to take a few maps off Team Liquid. And also at the same time, they know, of course, that if they do this, they would help Dignitas.
Yes, even getting a win or two would allow them to continue the momentum here, which is important for them going into the Crucible. But let's go ahead and figure out which battleground we'll be starting for game number 1 in this best of 5 series. It will be Towers of Doom, and this is chosen by Team Liquid. And what a way to come out here in game number 1. Pick a battleground that you are dominant on. And Towers of Doom is one that Team Liquid is always successful on.
Team Liquid also is now, since we heard just now from Norok, they feel a bit awkward. They said, we lost so many games, we feel we are in a slump, but they also say we have been in that position last year. We had a time when we really struggled, we passed that, and then we came out stronger than ever. And that's exactly the mindset they have right now. Try to go through the slump, make sure that you just find your confidence again, and then just carry it from there. And of course, with the playoffs being so close, they want to make that happen as fast as possible.
That confidence is incredibly important too. They came into this season saying, we want to go to every single clash. We want to be at the midseason brawl. That's what we want. We want to get victories under our belt that are important. At the Western Clash, they failed. But the midseason brawl could be their next chance to really show up and be dominant on the global scene here. So let's see if they can get the win today, get back on track. Let's move into it. Towers of Doom.
Towers of Doom, a map where we could also see some off picks. We have talked a lot about Vikings on this map. We have seen it once on the side of experts. ADRD played Vikings against Team Liquid, and it was something where especially HazoOps gave him compliments to its build and how he controlled them after the match happened, which is high praise coming from someone like HazoOps, who has the RTS background with Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, and is of course a Vikings player for his own team.
Yeah. HazoOps has been incredible on the Vikings gameplay, and so you'll see it normally. beGenius now thinking about what they want to ban out, and it's gotten to the point where Vikings as a first ban may be warranted here with the information that was just shared there by our wonderful Calidor. Now, let's see what beGenius will be moving into. Let's talk about them as a team. What have they done well in the last couple of weeks? Well, they've rolled swapped a Watt, they put Danaton on the flex, and he's been aggressive.
And they also have very clean drafts at this point. They have drafts that are oftentimes a bit simpler, they're not too complicated, because we oftentimes talk about drafts where we are saying, this can work if the team coordinates everything extremely well and makes sure that they have that synergy there. And then we sometimes have drafts that are easier to execute, but still very, very powerful. And that's what beGenius did against Tricked Esports. They had a very good snipe draft on Sky Temple, where they only aimed to get single kills at the beginning, Greymane initiating together with a variant. And then on the first map, they had a draft that was only aiming to get 2 level 20 with an Azebo. So at this point, when it comes to strategy, we're having beGenius in a spot where they have a very clear idea what they want in a draft, and they aim for that. And that's something that Team Liquid has to watch out for.
It's a great way to set your foundation for victories, to have that clear path of victory. What do you want to do in the game? Can you achieve it? Can you succeed at the important moments? And beGenius has been aiming for that and delivering. Now, let's talk about this draft here.
Yeah.
Ballstead pickup, global right away for beGenius, and Team Liquid answers back with Genji, our third Genji of the day.
Genji is back, and not only do we have Genji, we have the ban on the Vikings that you talked about a bit earlier. So Vikings and Abathur are both banned, both heroes that are quite strong in the current meta in Europe on this particular battleground. And Genji as a pick already shows that they are having a lot of confidence in the ability of their Genji players. And the high skill cap that we talk about is something that Team Liquid has. So of course they're coming out swinging here, saying we have the confidence, we're going to play the Genji, and we are going to put so much pressure onto our opponent that they are going to have a very, very rough time dealing with the pressure that comes towards the backline and will crumble eventually.
And that really shows what the top three are so good at. When a new battleground or a new meta comes out, they don't mind going towards that hero and make sure to scrim it often and pull it out and change the meta up right away. We have Fnatic run Genji, and now we have Team Liquid here playing it, so that's exciting to see. Now, already, you have the natural counter that everyone will talk about, and that is going to be your variant gameplay, which is now picked up by beGenius. Very similar to Zeratul. If you lock down a Zeratul, you usually get the kill. Same thing here for Team Liquid.
And look what Team Liquid is currently doing. There's, in my opinion, 2 potential bans for them. Greymane or a Li Ming. And with them picking Li Ming, there could be a chance that we see Team Liquid aiming for Greymane in the next round. But with them banning out Li Ming, they take one of the tools away that beGenius used against Tricked Esports when they were running Variant. The whole idea back then that they had was engage with Variant, lock the target down, Greymane and Li Ming collapse on it, and get an early kill. And Team Liquid is trying to shut that down already and making sure that this is not a tool that beGenius can use.
So it's looking like for sure now beGenius needs to consider what they want to get rid of. Obviously with the Tyrael being on the opposing side, Greymane naturally synergizes with that. Do you think about maybe banning it out, or do you chance it and leave it open for it to come your way?
Now, I would probably ban Greymane if I was beGenius. You already have Genji and Tyrael against you. Tyrael has been played with Sanctification most of the time, but we have seen on this battleground also combos with Judgment where you try to be aggressive into the backline. One of the things you need for that, or what you usually wait for, is for your opponent to pick a hero that doesn't have Cleanse. But even if you only engage with the Sanctification and then enable a Greymane to dive in, that's a powerful tool, and especially if you have a Genji on top of it. And they ban out the Greymane, and I think it was the perfect choice here and was very much needed.
Now Team Liquid needs to consider what they want to run on the battleground. They're going to need some kind of tools to deal with that fall stat in terms of rotations. You're going to need to have the ability for wave clear too, because right now they are lacking. Genji and Tyrael really doesn't bring out the ability to handle the pressure that could be coming your way if fall stat were to be split pushing the entire time. So options floating around. There's still Zeratul as a possible pickup for them. Zeratul's also good against a false side matchup. It can help out against that counter engage that Vrayan brings in.
That could be one of the things they are looking at this point. We have, when it comes to range damage, a Vala that can fill the role with AoE. We have seen them lean a bit more towards Tychus lately, I'd say.
Yep.
So that might be something that they are currently looking to pick up. But there's also still the opportunity to go into Dehaka for a top laner, and the wave play he provides can also help you out. But they go into the Zeratul, they have Uther with his comp, Divine Storm or Divine Shield is going to be available to them. Both of them very frightening depending on how you play that comp, but already that is a very solid setup for them.
So are we thinking maybe Dragon Blade with Divine Shield here as a possibility? I know you mentioned the Divine Storm, but Dragon Blade could be pretty crazy if we're able to get to the back line and get 2 or 3 swipes on that assassin.
No. Again, there's, I think, 2 different ways you can play this. If you want to go into the Divine Storm, then you have something you can use after the Void Prison setup. Sure. And in theory, we saw something similar used by the Playing Ducks against Team Liquid on this map with Judgment and then a Divine Storm following it up.
Sure.
If you want to go into the Divine Shield, as you said, you can either empower Zeratul or you can empower Genji. And the Dragon Blade would be a good option for that. So far, I've mostly seen X-Strike out of the teams that I've watched in scrims, and we've seen that also used by Fnatic earlier. It seems to be the preferred tool, but Uther can go both ways when it comes to that. So it depends a bit on how Team Liquid reads the game, what they feel they do against this composition.
Well, they're going to have to deal with an Arthas and a Tychus here from beGenius. beGenius going back to their roots, grabbing the Tychus. We saw one Tychus game last week, if I remember correctly. Good for them here on Towers of Doom for clearing out the shrines they need to. You can pop an Odin, but also helps them with the tank play they'll be seeing here with the Tyrael and potentially the Uther moving in. Now, Team Liquid will finish this draft here with a Gul'dan pickup.
The Gul'dan coming this late is, I think, a bit of a surprise. I would have expected him to come out earlier, but it's a great pick for them regardless. It solves the problem they have with wave clear, and it's also a tool that can, with Horrify, just have a massive impact on any fight, and especially beGenius is very vulnerable to these Horrifies, as we've seen when they played against Dignitas, for example. So that's an important thing to point out. I also feel Uther pick is something that not only has a few synergies with the heroes available, but I think it's a great tool if you want to shut down any of these little tricks that beGenius has been throwing out. They went so far last time as to ban out Uther because they wanted to make sure they get value out of their combo, especially with the Variant Taunt. So it's a bit weird to say it, but for Team Liquid, the draft is safe and aggressive at the same time.
Yeah, it's actually a really solid spot for them too with that Gul'dan final pickup. beGenius was so frightened of Gul'dan last week that we actually saw it banned out every single game they were in, for the fact that every single time they go for an engage, it just naturally clump up. So hopefully they've worked on that this week, because that may have just been something that they forgot about, simply because they banned it out last week. They maybe didn't have to face it in scrims, and with them really trying to make sure they didn't have to deal with the Vikings gameplay, they may have let it go through here. And Team Liquid, sniffing that out, grabs the Gul'dan for the 5th pick. So pretty exciting here. Towers of Doom. And at that, we have a large amount of strength here for Team Liquid. They've been great on this map in the past, so beGenius is going to have to really bring it here with this draft.
Yeah, beGenius has great heroes on the individual level. The synergy between Arthas and Varian can be very strong. You engage with Varian, you get a good taunt. The Howling Blast follow-up of Arthas usually helps you. And then ideally, you go in with the bigger they are, try to just drop the damage on Tychus and then get a kill potentially. But when we're looking at what Team Liquid is running here, they have a lot of tools where you can section off part of your opponent's composition and then try to get a kill. And for me personally, I would say Tyrell is most likely heading into Sanctification since he's the only real tank in this setup.
Sure.
But as we said, we have seen on this map in particular and lately in Europe also occasionally a Judgment if you are trying to blow up a target. But here with the setup that they are running, a Sanctification, I believe is a bit more likely.
Well, let's get this started here. Game number 1, Towers of Doom, best of 5 series, beGenius taking on Team Liquid.
And to the left side of our first game in the best of 5 series in blue, we have the German-Bulgarian team, Team Liquid with Hazovs on Gul'dan, Nurok on Genji, Splendor on Uther, Blumi on Tyrael, and Darkmok on Zeratul.
To the right, in the red, currently on a nice little win streak of a 2-0. It's going to be unstable here. Playing the Malfurion, going to have Danatan on Arthas, Eric Keen on Tychus, going to be having Kirwa on Falstad, and finally Tank for the win. We'll be playing Varian.
Now we have been talking about Genji already a bit in earlier series, and back then a level 1 talent was the Agile Dismount, so that while mounted the range of your trait, of your cyber agility, is incredibly increased, and you have even a reduced cooldown. That opens a lot of mobility tools up for you, and you can have heavy engages upon targets. But this time we have a different approach on the side of Team Liquid. So Fnatic heading into Agile Dismount, and Team Liquid instead at this point with Swift as a win, so that you have a movement speed bonus of 30% for 3 seconds after the Swift strike. So a bit of a different idea here, but still catering towards mobility of your ranged, of your melee assassin.
Really allows you to chase down your opponent if you do connect that Swift Strike, get that movement speed and keep on that back line, forcing them to use their own mobility or even take a lot of damage in terms of that Q poke. And we do have Zeratul in the top lane, facing off against Arthas. That will be a difficult lane for him, so he's going to play it safe there and just soak, use that stealth to his advantage.
Also, we're having Falstad going full NA here.
Ooh!
Yes, going for Bribe on level 1.
Grabbing the Bribe here. Name of the game for beGenius to control those mercenary camps that do spawn at 130. We'll see if they can keep up with that. As also, they are provided with the opportunity here to have that W damage shocking in here. Get that static shield, help out with that Genji.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how that is going to work out for beGenius. It's popular for some of the teams in the North American HGC scene to go for Bribe, especially Team 8 plays it quite a bit, not only on Towers of Doom, but we have seen them use this talent on Dragonshire as well. And let's find out if beGenius gets value. The idea, of course, is to ideally siege up the bot lane, get the bell tower, and then control the camps and try to push them in against your opponent when altars are on the map. And the first 3 altars are already about to activate.
That root from Unstable was really solid there too, making sure that if Genji did jump in, they would get him rooted and could burst him down. So beGenius grabs the Mercs in the bottom. We have 4 people setting up. Falstad and Arthas are in the top right corner. Zeratul will be the big changer here. What will occur here with his aggressive play with the Genji in the top right? Falstad staying nearby just in case he needs to rotate in and help his teammate.
It's a 3 versus 3 at the bot lane, but up to the top. Arthur's trying to soak. Genji is in the area. Puts the pressure on Kiowa. Danatan is not helping him out just yet, but Zeratul is now also moving in. Falstad on the way back. So far safe, but we're still fighting over the one altar down to the bottom of the map.
Falstad will remain in the middle. Soak up the experience here. A slight lead for beGenius overall in that experience lead. Genji will be heading down to the bottom, and we're going to have a full 5-on-5 in this fight. Gonna watch out for that Falstad, see if he rotates in. Tyrael gets focused down. Blumby charges in. He's getting low on health. Here comes the Uther. Heals. Will survive for now. Eric Keen is last here. The reset does go off, and Danatan will be also focused as Nurok helps get 2 kills.
Arthur's down, Tychus down. It's a 1-for-2, and Tank for the win is also starting to struggle here. Now Genji starting to channel. Nurok is already on the point, and beGenius lets this altar slide. Great job here by Team Liquid. With Tyrael at the front line, they are willing to let him die. They need to make sure that he trades well, though. It's okay if your Tyrael falls, but he needs to get value out of the trade, and you need to try and trade up make sure that you get a double kill out of it, or at least you trade even by taking one opponent down.
Yep, hitting 1 or 2 members to get them low enough too for that Genji to walk in and get those resets and start bringing it out there. Now, go beGenius, we believe in you. French community here. I think it meant raise your baguette.
Is that a
Prepare to
sexual
fight.
innuendo?
I'm not touching that one. Mercenary is pushing in the bottom lane. Gonna have Tank for the win, go for the engage. Blumby gets here with a shield, and we're gonna see some members pull on back.
The French definitely rooting for beGenius here. beGenius has also delivered over the last few weeks. It was pretty awesome to see. It's the Phoenix rising out of the ashes, so to say. They did very well. The question is, was that just them riding the momentum train, or is it now something that they can translate into pressuring Team Liquid even? One of the big three. And Liquid, of course, as we heard from Norok earlier, is currently struggling a bit. They don't feel as confident as they did in the past, but so far they're doing good here.
They are doing well and holding on, and you are correct. This test is a big one here for beGenius. Can they show up against some of the top 3 here? Now, Team Liquid, while they may be on a bit of a loss streak, they are still, without a doubt, still in the top 3. There isn't a moment here where we start saying, you know what, maybe they're mid-tier team now, going through a slight slump. So again, a big test here for beGenius. And one could even mention, maybe Trick Esport and such weren't trying as hard, you know, in the last matchup against beGenius. They're already in their standings, they're not good in the Crucible. Maybe it was lucky. beGenius, we'll see if they can really silence that doubt.
Team Liquid up at the top was going for some aggression, but they saw the false stat fly, an attempt by Kirva, and immediately backed off. Team Liquid, that is, of course. Also, talking a bit more about Genji. So I already pointed out that on level 1 we have an adjustment coming in from the Fnatic game, where Fnatic played him twice. Down here, a bit of pressure happening as it's a 2 versus 2. So Fnatic went for Agile Dismount. Swift as a Wind is the choice of Team Liquid. On level 4, the Stunner talent is still taken, Shuriken Mastery. And now on level 7, we have the perfect defense, where earlier Fnatic specced into the trade again with a Cyber Shield. So just a few differences in how the hero is being built currently on the European server. And we have an altar on the map, and that's what the two teams, of course, are fighting for, and where we're also going to see Genji try to make use of that mobility once more.
Really like that perfect defense, too, especially against an Arthas. You can get it procs pretty easily, especially if he has that EV popped up in there and bringing out that damage. So Team Liquid, no, we'll dance around this bottom altar. We have all members here in attendance. Erikine will start the channel, but Nurok does have the delay.
All hands on deck for now. No level 10 for either one of these teams. A lot of interrupts are happening here as they are starting to poke around in the standoff. The zoning for Arcane as he attempts to channel the altar through. Not happening just yet. Team Liquid looking for an opening, looking for a hero. They can snipe, that they can attack. Splendor also looking for that stun. In comes once more Varian with a quick parry afterward, negating the damage. But the altar still hasn't been touched yet.
Nurok continues to hold that deflect there for when Erikine moves in, so he can bring it out there against an overkill or even the auto attacks from Erikine. And slowly but surely, Team Liquid is starting to get an edge here. Nurok goes in the back right corner. Blumby getting low on health, but should be tapped off pretty soon here by Splendor.
Donatan is really, really low. Nurok already on the channel once again, and beGenius is not looking as if they contest this particular altar, and they don't. Yeah, just waiting around, seeing if they have maybe an opening for Arcane, dropping another grenade, but they retreat. And this is now 36 points on Team Liquid's score against 28 for beGenius. Kirva gets caught as he's trying to be back. Darkmok is on him, tries to get the kill, succeeds. Genji sliding in too, but beGenius is jumping Team Liquid's backline.
Yeah, they are. Tank for the win on the left side here. Attempts to start escaping here. Corruption does come out. Derek Mark does go in, does drop on the Singularity Spike. Won't go in for the harass, but Team Liquid hitting 10 before their opponents.
Look at Tyrael. No Sanctification chosen yet. Everyone else on the side of Team Liquid has taken their 10. I've been talking about it earlier. It could be Judgment if they go full out on the blow-up comp. If they really commit to this, it could be the Judgment trying to get a kill against Tychus, against maybe Falstad. But of course, with the setup they run here, Sanctification is also a great tool for these fights. But Team Liquid, they're keeping their options open.
Tyrael definitely going to Invocation would probably be the safer play. An aggressive play would be that Judgment, especially against a Mighty Guts, Cleanse, Twilight Dream, and it is going to be the Judgment. We'll see if Team Liquid can pull it off well here, as beGenius Dev has tools to deal with it.
Also, Dragon Blade being used on Genji, not the X-Strike that we saw before. Even with a potential setup, through a Judgment, no X-Strike, but a Dragon Blade to go into that backline and threaten that false stack.
Gonna watch out. The Divine Shield also being here can help out with that aggressive play there from the Genji, allowing him not to be CC'd as he continues to shell away damage on that false set, as you were mentioning, or even the Malfurion.
Team Liquid taking no prisoners with this comp. going straight for the aggression, the Horrify, the Dragon Blade, Divine Shield to keep them alive, Void Prison as a setup, and Judgment on top of this. beGenius, on the other hand, of course, they identified this too. They need to make sure that they get, for example, the Twilight Dream out of Malfurion to just shut this down early on. But Malfurion is another big target for Team Liquid in these fights. And talking fights, 5 more seconds until we have the next altar on the map.
This is the time for Team Liquid to actually use that Judgment on the Malfurion before Ice Block becomes available. So watch for Blumby. He's going to attempt to be aggressive when he can. Eldruin is out. They have delayed the altar for now. Falstad starts to push in that top lane there with the minion wave. He should be able to rotate in at some point. Zeratul sharking around on the right side.
beGenius, way more patient at this point than they were in the past, waiting for an opportunity here. But Team Liquid, they go in, here's the Void Prison, they're setting it up, already attacking tank. Where's Tyrael? Not making his move just yet, but we have the Horrify coming out. They go for Arcane, Judgment comes in, and he is down.
The Dragon Blade goes off, slashing left and right here. Danatan on the backside. We're going to get stunned here right away. We're going to see the Nurok working in the damage here from the side with the Qs, but not getting another kill.
Everyone on the side of Team Liquid, super low though, but they move back, they start the channel, and it looks like they can zone beGenius away from the altar. Another 4 shots fired. Liquid get away with a kill against Tychus, and they are also able to get the altar. But all of them were incredibly low in that team fight. This could have turned against them.
And I want to call out the play there. Falsa came in with the Mighty Gust, but the Horrify instantly came out from the Void Prison right before it did connect, and that allowed both Zeratul and Nurok to go in for the aggressive play. The Judgment afterwards as well. Great follow-up from Team Liquid, and great understanding of what tools beGenius had, like that Mighty Gust. Waited for it to get used, and then went in for the aggressive play.
Exactly. This is something they have to really watch out for. The Cleanse, the Silence, the Mighty Gust, the Taunt, all these tools they are used by beGenius to interrupt whatever Team Liquid wants to throw at them. Every kind of combo attempt can be stopped if they use those tools correctly. And Team Liquid just has to be a little bit faster than they are. But for now, Falstad is still pressuring the map. We have a level 13 for Team Liquid. 5 kills against 1 as they pick up Arthurs with a quick gank in the mid lane and set themselves a little bit farther apart of their opponent. But beGenius is about to at least hit level 13 Talons, and that would put them on even footing on the Talons.
13 would be helpful. Team Liquid's Judgment is down. We do have tank for the win. Getting grabbed by the Horrify. He's going to be able to get away there as Unstable shows up for the heal.
Yeah, so I have to say that any other hero would have probably had a rough time, but you are trying to Horrify a variant. So
yeah,
that is always a bit tricky, and they didn't use anything else on him. They realized, okay, that was maybe not the target we really wanted to go for here, but they grabbed the camp at least, and now 2 more altars are going to be on the map in a few seconds. The problem, of course, is that Horrify is down for another 45 seconds. During the fight, at least Judgment should be available again, since we have 16 seconds on the cooldown for Tyrael.
Yeah, 10 more seconds for that Judgment to come up, but I don't think it's going to matter here as Danatan gets murdered in the middle lane here. Team Liquid spreading blood here. They're going to run straight down the bottom right altar, and they have a 5v4.
Now, one altar gets channeled by beGenius. Another one in the middle is currently being taken, but they want to get another kill. Void Prisoners out, Judgment onto Odin. A bit late, already had it in process, and therefore the extra armor. Here comes the Silence on the side of Malfurion with a quick Twilight Dream. Genji is dying. Team Liquid, after channeling the mid-altar, looking for a kill, but finding only death.
Here comes Falstad. Will he go for the aggressive barrel roll and try to go for a Mighty Gust? He takes damage from Darkmok, and that fly, suddenly he's regretting it.
So let's look at the situation in the game and what this means. Team Liquid need to win this with a 3-0. They cannot drop a map. And they come out with a super aggressive composition. They play Genji plus Zeratul. They have Tyrael with Judgment. And they are really looking good so far. 6 kills against 2, making decisive moves on the map. Snap calls when it comes to the kills. But still a few points where you can see mistakes, and this might be one of them.
beGenius going for their own snap call here. They move in on Blumby. He'll be able to get away barely with the skin of his teeth there.
Now, Blumby, of course, trying to anchor this push as the rest of the team is going for the camp. So he was trying to make sure that they are not getting surprised there. Is able to move away, but you could already see in the earlier fight that he had a few problems with Tyrael going for Tychus, for example. That was a bit too late. Odin was already started, Void Prison comes down, but then Genji falls. But Team Liquid still in the driver's seat here, and they have level 16 now.
Which is important, as always. Tyrael getting 16 gets that holy ground. You already saw it there on display as they try to isolate a target. There is a full level needed here for beGenius. Falstad's unable to soak as Zeratul is currently missing on the map as he is looking for a kill. Falstad versus Zeratul is one of the most difficult matchups to actually face if you are a Falstad player, so he is playing incredibly reserved there in the top right corner, while in the middle, we have Tank for the Win being chased.
Varian has some trouble here, but thanks to parry, he's able to move away. And you're totally right about Zeratul and Falstad, and keep in mind, it's not only Zeratul he has to face. There's a Genji as well, always aiming for him.
A lot of blades looking for that Falstad to skin that chicken. And they're going to have 2 of the altars go to Team Liquid. beGenius will take 1, just hoping to have something here. But now that they're on even talent tiers, they're looking for an aggressive engage. Tank for the Win and Danatan are chasing in, while Hasselhoff's and crew take away their mercenaries.
Hasselhoff goes for the mercenaries. Here comes the fight once again. Divine Shield is already out on the side of Genji. Horrify comes in too. They go once again for Gerba in the backline. Cleanses out, but it's not enough. Silence has been blown too, only hitting 1, but once again Liquid is looking for kills as Danatan attempts to turn it around with his Arthurs. Howling Blast on the ground. The roots of Malfurion and Hasselhoff is in trouble.
Gerba taking damage on the right side, and we're going to have Hasselhoff finally falling. Tank for the Win does have taunt up. If anyone oversteps, he will go for the engage. beGenius being topped off here by Unstable and the Malfurion. They can get aggressive here, get mercs, get bell towers.
And especially the Malfurion, that was the crucial part here. Getting the cleanse in as the Judgment comes in. That was a big problem for Team Liquid to execute this. And then Hasselhoff gets caught a bit in the middle. He could not move back here. Howling Blasts on the side of Arthurs were strong. But when we look to the tower damage, 28 points on Team Liquid's core against 12. Looking very strong currently for Liquid, but they need to be careful that beGenius doesn't build up too momentum. The French team, on the other hand, as you said, they are trying to build that momentum with Falstad at the top, bribing camps, with the team down to the bottom, taking another one, trying to pressure the structures and closing the gap in experience.
Kirval being focused here by Nurok. Is he going to get the kill? He is. He holds on to the Mighty Gust, and not the last second does pop it, but sadly Nurok gets the kill. Tank for the Win coming in to chase, but Darkmok has caught him.
Once again, Nurok rushing away here. Darkmok is there, trying to see what he can do. Here comes the Judgment, cleansed again. Once again, Blumby's ult gets cleansed out, and in the meantime, Zeratul is falling to Arcane on his Tychus. Team Liquid a bit over-aggressive here, and Blumby just throwing these ults out too fast. Nurok gets away, barely saved in this situation, is able to escape, but just the breath of a hair.
Unstable is playing so well right now. Danatan going in. The Holy Ground does get popped out. Air Queen's on the right side. Now, Falstad does spawn in 3 seconds, so we should have a fly-in at some point. He'll have Mighty Gust in 10 seconds. Odin has been popped. beGenius is making a stand.
They definitely are, and Unstable gets the channel through. That's 4 points already. Silence comes through. Tyrael goes down, tries to get some value with the trade, but the rest of the team isn't there yet. Nurok tries to get an isolation kill with his Genji, jumps in deep, but needs to be careful as Varian is looking for a potential taunt. Gets in, gets the taunt, and that is Genji falling. Team Liquid messing up badly at this point.
Tank for the Win does get picked off though as he messes up. Hasselhoff's in the front line. Eriki moving in as well. Here's Kiribwal. He does have a Gust if he needs to go for the engage. He does drop it. Arthas is headed to the middle lane.
All right, Gust being used and everything resets. 2 of the altars have been channeled though by beGenius. That puts Team Liquid down to 20 points on the core against 12. But they were in a very awkward spot here. They were trying to contest the altars even though one of their heroes was dead. Went in with Tyrael, lost Tyrael, and still the approach by Genji to go deep and try to lock someone down with Varian being around. That resulted in 2 heroes being killed, and that's a problem for Team Liquid now. So they need to really coordinate this a bit better, and I would really wish for Judgment to be used after Cleanse or to simply make Malfurion the target.
That would be the plan here for
Problem,
Team
of
Liquid.
course. Sorry to interrupt, but you talked about it earlier. Ice Poke by now available.
Yes.
So it's all about Unstable here, I feel.
Yeah, beGenius really has the tools now. The Ice Block, the Cleanse being available, even the Mighty Gust if you have to stop that Judgment from happening. If you can stop the initial blow-up from occurring and Genji getting the resets, beGenius can be in a great spot. And they continue to be in a good spot. They're moving towards 19.5. Falstad's in the top here, and they're about to get 20.
Liquid is behind in experience. They are ahead in points on the core, but they have to coordinate these fights a bit better. The early game was strong for them. The mid game also looking good. But after level 16, it seems like Liquid's coordination is a bit off compared to what we've seen before. Now a single altar is spawning on the map, and that's going to be a very decisive point in this game. 20 is soon ready for both of these teams, but beGenius is still slightly ahead in experience.
beGenius should be able to get it, but right now they're playing very reserved as they know Team Liquid would not mind taking the fight. 20 is here in the middle. Kirval uses Gust. To be fair, you had to. Splinter was so close to bringing the stun out. Next thing you know, you die and your team blames you for the loss, but that's a mighty Gust.
He really felt pressured there, and that's an ult down, as you already said. Taunt is being used. Unstable is trying to channel the altar. Nurok about to move in. They let it go. No, they don't. They have still Bloomby available, and he'll use Zeldruin's Might. Here comes Odin, though, and Unstable is about to complete the channel. Team Liquid lets it go. 20 versus 20. They're jumping in. They go for false start, and he's dead.
Twilight Dream does come out, though. They turn around for the taunt, and they're going to hit Genji. Splinter low on health. Bloomby also being chased here. Judgment does pop out. Malfurion low. He brings out the Ice Bucket. Arakeen is shredding, folks.
Arakeen is just completely destroying them here. Tyrael falling, a triple kill against Team Liquid. But keep in mind, Uther, thanks to his 20, is back to business.
Who is this team? beGenius gets another kill. Yes, sir. They start moving in here, and they clear out the middle lane.
10 kills for beGenius, 9 for Team Liquid. 12 against 16 points on the core, and Team Liquid is starting to struggle. They have a hyper-mobile comp, an aggressive comp, and beGenius is playing it safe. But now they even go for the boss, as 3 of the members of TL are still dead. beGenius, if they win a single map, only one, then Dignitas would be confirmed as the #2 team, unless, of course, they lose the series against Trick Esports outright.
beGenius ties up the game here, 12-12. A moment of calm in this game where we move into the late game. We're going to be seeing pressure here in the middle and the top as beGenius resets, grabs mana, grabs health, but that gives time here for Team Liquid to have spawns. Tyrael and, of course, Uther coming in about 15 seconds.
Anti-magic shell on the side of Arthas. Bolt of the Storm for Malfurion. So many tools with mobility, survivability that they have right now. They can use the Bolt and the Twilight Dream to silence the opponent. They can always try and just shut them down early on with also a good Mighty Gust, push them away. Big red button on the Tigers. Team Liquid, they came out swinging, and right now they find themselves in a very awkward spot. Even points on the core. 12-12, nearly even kills, and even experience. Still 4-4 bell towers on the map, but the altars are spawning down to the bottom of the map, and this is the moment of truth.
Moment of truth here. Ball set. Epic mounts to the bottom. Tyrael on the left side, setting up by the altar. Splinter sitting in the bush, waiting for someone to jump on. Zeratul in the top right corner. Void Prison would be huge here if it can connect here with a Horrify. Tank for the win, taking some damage on the left side. Danatan decides to start moving forward. We're going to have Unstable on the back right corner, and Odin has been popped.
Angel of Justice on 20 for Tyrael. Odin indeed has been popped. Unstable is trying to channel it through, and they are zoning Team Liquid out. Nurok dives deep for that kill, uses deflect. Tyrael is dead already. Didn't even use his ult, and with Tyrael gone, Unstable can complete the channel. 4 more hits against Team Liquid. They drop down into the single digits. They are at 8 health points on their core.
No Bloomby means Team Liquid cannot fight. The poke hits here with Odin being available onto the fort. Once Odin falls, you have a chance to maybe move in on a 4v5, but is it really worth it? That's the question that Team Liquid is asking themselves right now. And the answer is no, it's really not. Wait it out here, keep control of the map, and make sure to be set up for the next altar phase.
Let's talk about the map. Epic Mount on Falstad opens the map for beGenius. They're all over the place. The bell tower down to the bot lane is nearly down. And up to the top, we have Falstad. Oh, there's the taunt. Oh, there's the kill against Tychus. Varian goes for Zeratul, but it's Nurok in the backline with his Genji that drops Tychus, and they are not done yet. They're going in once more. Here comes a quick Void Prison. They're setting everything up for a potential second kill.
Dragonblade comes in. They're going straight for Danatan here, and he is living. Just being Arthas, man.
Taunt.
We're going to have Falstad flying in. They're coming for it. Twilight Dream goes out. They turn around and they focus down Nurok. Will he fall? He gets away with the jump.
Unbelievable. Nurok somehow is able to get out of there. The epic mount fly in on the side of Falstad nearly secured a kill for beGenius. All this happening with Tyrael not even part of the conversation for most of the fight, especially for the early kill against, of course, Tychus. The top lane is pressuring though now against Team Liquid's bell tower, and they are trying to counterplay this by putting pressure onto the lanes by simply taking more mercenaries. 10 kills against 11.
10 kills to 11 now. Team Liquid will be able to push in this bell tower, but do remember, beGenius has the bottom left bell tower and the top left bell tower low on health. They can have a turnaround scenario here where they burn those down if they can deal with the 4 on the bottom. Odin is available. Do remember Twilight Dream, not up for 40 seconds.
Exactly. Twilight Dream, a big problem. Once again, we're also looking at 2 more altars up to the top left and top right. So right now, beGenius has lost the bell tower to the bot lane. They keep varying around a bit longer, but they cannot reclaim it. They need to fight up to the top. If they get both, if beGenius gets both of them, Team Liquid would still live because it's 5 bell towers to 3. But this is super tense at this point. Unstable is there. Zeratul is channeling to the left. A Malfurion to the right. And interrupted by a quick Shuriken. But Team Liquid channeled through. That's 5 points off beGenius' core. Now all of a sudden, we're seeing Odin being popped to the top right. Falset is not here though.
Falset's on the bottom right, still has a amount available, can move in, another 18 seconds available for Erkin on the Odin. We're going to turn around and go straight for Arthas. He gets blown up there, unstable there, bolts over the wall to provide a heal. Here comes Kirbois, they're turning around, Twilight Dream on Blumby, Divine Shield to save him. Tank for the win, low on health, Erkin trying to get damage in, but Zeratul moves up in the top right.
Falset was flying behind him to try and gust him in, but Hurricane is all of a sudden down and we have Void Prison used in the background. Nuruk is already waiting for an opportunity to maybe get another kill. Goes for... No, he doesn't go for the variant. So low, only a sliver of health is still there. He doesn't want to go in. He knows the taunt is ready, but we still have beGenius poking. 4 points on the core. If Team Liquid gets this, if Team Liquid gets the channel, this game is over. And Falstad is all of a sudden down as they jump him.
Only 2 tanks and 1 healer available for beGenius. Can they defend this? Hasuab starts the channel. Danatan coming around. The Howling Blast does connect. Tank for the win. Low on health. Unstable steps forward. And Team Liquid will be able to secure this altar. And they're going to hold on and get a 1-0 victory. Hasuab finishes the channel.
Desperate attempt here on the side of beGenius to somehow stop this, but the game is over. 8 points remain for Liquid as they drop beGenius core and take the first game in the series.
Wonderfully played there by both teams. beGenius really showing up in that match. Team Liquid, though, in the last couple of seconds, pulls on through. Blumby having a couple moments there where he looked like he may have fallen in the bottom left. The Divine Shield from Splendor allowed him to survive after he went home and tapped, brought the judgment in, and they were able to finally finish the game.
That was insane that he lived. With everything that came out, with also Falstad trying to gust him in, then we had on top of that Malfurion with a Twilight Dream, he still survived.
Yeah.
And keep also in mind, the only reason why Liquid won this is because down to the bottom of the map, one of the camps actually got through. If not for that, those points would not have mattered. So Liquid barely makes it work. Just before the altar got channeled, they even lost a bell tower at the top. But it was still
Crazy.
4 points on the core of the opponent, and they had 4 bell towers. So it just worked out.
All came down to the wire. We'll see if we'll get an exciting game in game number 2, as we'll be right back after this commercial break.